Tell a little bit about that process.
A few years ago, I thought I like to get all my friends that were nearby. They were in camp. I said, "Can you write me a story?" And I said, "A short story." And so I started writing, and I started finding people that were in camp during the period in Jerome and Roar, but most of them were gone, but some of them were in pretty good health. And all these stories started coming in. Then they told other people, okay, and it really was amazing that they finally a Japanese person takes a lot of effort for them to talk about their past, but it came out real well, okay.
Ideas. Maybe talk a little bit about that.
Uh, it's like my father when he purchased a land, it was so bad. It's like a hayfield and rocks, sand, and this is right outside Sacramento. So all the good land was already taken by the Caucasian farmers. So all the bad lands were had to be purchased by the Japanese American, but they became good farmers. They took the rocks out, and they knew about irrigation. They knew about pruning. They knew about fertilizing. So the technique of raising a crop was good, and it showed up in the finished product when they took the vegetables to the market. Sometimes if you stood behind your vegetables and you were Japanese, some people would not buy it. But if they put the product side by side, it's outstanding. Okay, and then pretty soon, uh, my father was taking care of the grapes, for instance, and uh, and strawberry, they formed a co-op. And by co-op, at a given time, they would fill box cars full of strawberry or grapes and then send it to the northern market. But that's where the money was. Okay. Okay, here you see the Fresno Assembly Center, which we went to just a few years ago, but it took me close to 77 years to return. Okay, when we went to the Fresno Assembly Center, we went to the fairgrounds. Of course, the fairgrounds and buildings were not there. Okay, next slide. Next one is when we got to Fresno, we got there on in May 29th. Okay, and on June 2nd, my mother had a child, the first child to be born in camp. But the facilities were not there at the camp for birth, so she was taken to the Fresno uh, hospital. Okay, and then something strange happened. The hospital would not issue a birth certificate. And my father went back and he asked about it, and they said they don't know what to put in as citizens. He said, well, so he put in citizen U.S. He said, well, we're at the war with Japan. And my father said, we have nothing to do with that, and you had to put U.S. citizen. And they did. So that was the beginning of the trauma. And they have on the site, and this, I've seen this, I've never seen a photo of it, but there's a whole plaque of all the internees during the period. And I looked on there, and right at the top is my Imahara, is my sister Flora. Then my mother, Haruka, Irene. James is my father, and my sister Jane is next, and my brother John, my brother June, who was born there. Okay, and my way down there at the bottom, you'll see my sister Lily and May. And on next, I'm way at the top, and it's kind of hard to uh, look at a plaque that's been placed there with your name on it. Okay, and there's other people on there, of course, are deceased. It's in the alphabetical order. It was quite a sight to see. Okay, we lived there for 5 months, and then we took that long trip to Arkansas. And most of us never been on a train. And you could see we were there, 4 days, 5 nights, and we finally go across the country in a broken down train. The seats were bad. The bathroom facility was almost non-existent. And we finally get to Arkansas.
Coming from California.
Okay, as a 5 years old, it was rough. The trains were all in bad shape in the first place, and then they darkened the windows so you can't see out or people can't see in. Okay, and of course the seats all wooden, and it's all and the bathroom were in bad shape. Okay, because they were all dilapidated uh, cars for moving people in those days. Yeah, somehow we made it. Yeah, food was bad, but anyway, we got to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, and what do you see? This rows and rows of uh, tar paper buildings, and many of them were not finished. And my parents said when they got there, there was you had to live in whatever was already given to you. See, okay, and that photo that you've seen of my the tower was drawn by my sister Lily, so that puts her about age 7. She wrote, and this is the tower as it is at that time in Arkansas. And there's a photo that was taken at Jerome, okay, and this there's a lot of folks in here, but with the arrow, well, that's me. Well, I'm 5 years old. So, and all the way to my right is my father. Where you see the arrow, that's my father. Okay. And below is my sister Irene. And going to the left is, next is to the left is my brother John. Okay. Then you see me. And then you see my sister Lily. And then way right in the middle of it is my sister, my my mother, and my brother June, who spelled Jun. He has no English American name because my father was real bitter, so his name is just June, Jun. And that photo up there, my sister made the oldest in the family, and she was about 15. Okay, and then my next is my sister Flora. the bathrooms at Fresno is it's like a trough with all these holes in a row in a trough, and the water would gush through there every now and then to move the waste. Of course, if you're in the wrong end, you're going to get splashed. But there's no partition, huh? So even when we got to camps in Jerome and Roar, they had, by then they had toilets, but the toilets all next to each other. And for females, that was really terrible. And then they took a shower. And the shower is just open shower, like in so a lot of the women got up early in the morning, go take a shower, but then everybody kind of did the same thing, so it didn't matter too much. Anyway, they never had no curtains or in between partition. It was bad on the women folks. Yeah.
I went through that experience.
We had so many children in our family that it's hard to eat together. Okay, and as children, of course, we don't know any difference. We just eat with other children. The adults eat with other adults. So the family unity broke down. And I remember the first thing that my father got to New Orleans, he went out and got a round table. And pretty soon everybody else got a round table, and you all ate together, and you all had to sit in a certain spot. Okay, and so the unity did come back. It took a while.
Yeah.
And okay, then we were forced to move again about 25 miles away because this camp we were in was given to the German prisoner of war. Okay, and here I can't believe, but David found these photos because no photos were ever taken there. But here it is, and this was transported from Jerome to Roar, about 25 miles away. And I don't know where these photos. Look at this photo. This was in color. They have movie. They're moving. Wow. And this is the way they were transported. Well, I would say about 9,500. And of course, the land was swampy, and you could see the boards. And look how these ladies have to pass each other on boards. And what a beautiful photo that I've never seen before as we entered the Roar relocation. This photo was taken while we're there, and I'm always I'm on the left side. Walter, I'm the tallest, okay, and my brother John is with the arrow showing, and below is my brother June, who was born in Fresno, and my sister Irene. And we're all very young. And here's my mother, 35 years old, and she she had all those children, and she really took over the leadership of the family at that time. Because my father left to go to Chicago to work, and my mother stayed behind, and she was for that age, when you lose everything, it's kind of tough. But you know, as children, it wasn't so bad because we always had our parents. We had food. This is my first grade, okay, and around 1944, and that's me sitting there, and I'm leaning next to a young lady named Joanne Okada, and to this day we're still friends, and that's been over 80 years.
Anna.
First, my parents, they did not want to go back to California. They lost everything, and California didn't want them back. So they thought that maybe they go south. So they chose Louisiana, New Orleans, because they found out there's a lot of college and universities there. So they went there just for the children. Because when my father finally got there, he was given, he couldn't get a good job. It's always jobs that's kind of, it's where people can't see you type of jobs. And he had to make a living just to put food on the table.
Experience when you moved to Louisiana.
The experience for the children was not that good because we were in grade school, you know, with third, fourth grade, and every one of us were in school, and we're the only Japanese there. And of course, the children were kind of mean because they got that from the parents, huh? So we kind of understood that. So it took a while, uh, and we always seemed to be picked on. We never get called on by the teachers. When maybe the grades were not, we felt like one grade lower, but we kind of endured, yeah.
Background.
Uh, my sister May was the oldest, and she went to business school, and sometimes she makes what, $9 a week in those days. She give half to my parents, okay. But she had a hard time getting a job because every time you fill it out, you got to put nationality down, okay. And she always put Japanese American. And one time, and they were rejected because they would tell her they don't hire Japanese. One time, she said, "Wait now, there's something wrong. In the South, it's either black or white." She put white. That was it. Never went out without a job after that. It's a good story.
And their early experiences here.
Yeah, after the war, it was a. It really didn't matter if you're an American citizen or not. They looked at my parents as Japanese, and they would explain to them they're American citizen. But in those days, it's like who really cares? So they had a hard time, and we as children had to explain all the time to children, and we were hoping the teachers would pick it up that we're American citizen, and if we have rights and all that, even though all rights as a citizen were taken away. But most of us, once we went through life knowing this, we don't have any ill feelings. We understand that, huh? Yeah, so we're grateful to be here, actually. And we're very good Americans. In Camp Dachau. Okay, this is the site of the drone camp recently taken. And above my head, you see a chimney. And at Jerome, that's the only thing is remaining is a chimney. Everything else is nothing but farms. And in just one location, they have that little monument. And this is Aurora Relocation Center. And there they have some nice display of the cemetery and some monuments. This is in 1990, we received a letter of apology and a check for 20,000. And this only went to people that were living at that time. Okay, and you can remember when we got the apology, if you go back, it took 45 years. And most of us, we want an apology, and the money was insignificant.